Hey YouTube, this is Cursed. About a week ago I promised a frequently asked questions video, so here it is. First on the agenda, why do the .x files not import into PMX editor? I've been finding that the newer versions of the editor tend to have a broken import function, so upon trying to import a .x file, you get nothing in the viewer because nothing actually correctly imports. What I've been using to work around that is either an older version of PMX editor, if you can find it, or PMD editor version version 139. If you go to the PMD editor wiki page, which should look like this, I'll put the link in the description. You scroll down about halfway past the links of the versions in the 200 range, you'll find one that says 139 right here. You're going to want to click open that link, and towards the bottom portion of the page you will see PMD editor 139.zip. Save this to wherever you want. I'm just going to save it where the other one is. You're going to want to, when it finishes downloading, right click it. This might take a moment. Right click it and go to Properties. Then unblock the file. This prevents the issue of all the pop-ups happening whenever the program opens. Then you can extract it to wherever you want and it should run perfectly. I'm going to get rid of that one though because it's not necessary. If you see though, I can open up version 139 when it loads and then import a .x file. I don't have any of the Elsword ones, I'm just using a different setup. So it looks like there's nothing there, but there is. I'm just going to change the color so it appears because there's no texture. If you notice, the model's imported correctly as compared to receiving nothing inside the viewer. The second question on the agenda, why do the textures not show up upon pressing space? This occurs when the textures are not in the same folder as the model. For example, you're going to want to go to the folder your model is in, I did it literally there, and make sure your model's PMX file and its texture TGA files are all in the same folder. They have to be next to each other like this. Doesn't matter where they are in the folder, like visually, so long as they're in the same folder. For example though, if the TGA files are not in the same folder, the model will simply appear white and won't actually have any texture. But assuming you place the TGA files with the model and the texture line under the mesh, which should be right here, text, matches the names. So assuming this first mesh was the body, you would want to make sure it was going with this body example.tga, and it will link the body's mesh to the TGA file that has the texture with the body on it. It doesn't have to be a TGA file, but that's usually what they come with. So I would recommend doing it that way. You can also link to it a different way by typing in the exact texture path if it's in a different location than the model, but that's a bit more complicated, so I won't get into that. The third question, which I unfortunately will not be able to give a valid answer to, regards the strange appearance of the models after the rigger has completed creating them, or stitching them together. Unfortunately, it has come to my attention that there is an issue with the rigger, which connects to the fourth and final question. It appears that certain computers take decimals as periods or commas, which didn't occur to me when I had written the program, so it only uses periods. So on computers that require commas, it simply writes, for example, 124 when it really should have been 12.4. So, unfortunately, the rigger is beyond broken, and I do not have the code for it on this computer anymore, so to be able to fix that, I would have to rewrite the program. Unfortunately, I will not have time within the next couple months to be able to get to that. But I am aware of the issue, so if I do ever get around to rewriting the program, I should be able to fix it within the next version. Unfortunately, though, for the current version, there is not a legitimate fix unless there is a way to get the scripts to accept commas instead of periods, which may work, but I don't have the files to, I don't have the compiler's code. So it is possible to try switching them. I could give it a shot possibly, but I can't guarantee that it would work. As for the switching it manually within the rigger, it will not work guaranteed. There have been a couple issues also where the model does not work correctly with the rigger. Like the rigger clicks in strange places, and instead of increasing the model's size, simply places all the bones in the wrong location. I'm guessing that might have to do with the operating system of the computer. The computer that this was written on was a 64-bit, but compiled in a 32-bit version. So it appears to have been working on 64-bit computers, but attempting to run the rigger on a 32-bit computer cannot guarantee that the program will work. That I unfortunately do not think I will have the opportunity to fix because I cannot compile the programs in two different versions, as it requires a reinstall of the program that I've been writing this code in. Unfortunately, there is not much I can do to fix the issues with the rigger at this moment, though if I do ever get around to rewriting the program, I do intend to make sure it lacks all of these bugs that I'm aware of. There was one other question that I am incapable of answering as I do not have the information available or the files to look into it. Regarding the file locations of all the characters, I'm going to have to ask you all to suggest or state if you want the different file locations for them. I am unaware, but I ask you as the community to help me put together a list of the locations so that new people working on these models do not have to go through the struggle of finding them, as I know from first-hand experience, trying to find those things can be a pain without proper information. Anyway, I believe that was it for all of at least the most common questions. There might be other ones, but feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll answer them. Thanks for watching.